There we go. Da-na-na, da-na-da-na-da. What is up, everyone? Welcome in to the Winners Lounge. Wow, love it. Love the energy. Love the energy, guys. We are presented, of course, by DraftKings Sportsbook. Make sure to use the code DNVR when you sign up and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Serbia, dominant over Finland today. We're going to break it all down for you. Let me introduce the cast. I'm, of course, Harrison Wynn, joined below me by Brendan Vogt. What's going on, man?
Fellas, the vibes are immaculate today after a little, how about a midday blowout? What a treat. What a treat for the fellas.
A nice Labor Day blowout. I agree. Great way to spend my Monday. Just incredible vibes all around. Also, we are graced by his presence today. It's the man, the myth, the legend, the star of the show. It's Superstar Dev.
My boys. I'm excited to be here. We get to just know we're going to win a game and then go in and just absolutely whip ass for the entirety of the game. I'm also excited that we're sponsored by DraftKings because I got to put in a bet today. It felt good to just have the easiest win the entire time. I just knew from the get-go they were going to win by more than 11 points, and guess what they did?
Yeah, they absolutely did. It's maybe – yeah, I mean, I was going to get there, but I was first going to say it's the second best bet somebody's made on Serbia in pool play so far. But Dev, it's good to have you, man. I mean, you look incredible. the background looks incredible. The shirt looks awesome. Straight from Serbia. Dude, you're glowing right now.
See, you know what happened out in Serbia? It was me and Bo. You know, we was just walking around different places. We got a watch from Serbia. I had to get me a shirt from Serbia. Yeah. I'm a Serbian man. I'm a black Serbian man.
He's a black Serbian man.
That is a fact.
All right. We got a lot to get to today. Of course, we're going to recap the game, give you guys our thoughts from it. Then we're going to get into, of course, a special edition of Dev Likes Team Serbia. Can't wait for that. And then, should be a great show. Should we get to a quick recap, though? A quick 60-second recap. Should I just give it to you guys?
Oh,
break it down,
please.
Okay. All right. So a couple just quick notes before the actual game started. Nikola Milutinov is back. He missed the first two games of group play, but he was in uniform, Serbia's backup center. He didn't play tonight, though. Serbia didn't really need him. And then our guy Marinkovic was out today. The sharpshooter that we love. I saw on Twitter it was a stomach bug. So they had Nemanja Nedovic step into the starting lineup next to Vasa Micic. And if you guys don't know about Nedovic, we probably need to mention him and kind of know who this guy is because he's probably going to play a big role for Serbia going forward. He's more of a lead ball handler than Marinkovic is, more of like a combo guard. But this is a guy, Nedovic, who was drafted by Phoenix 30th overall. Former first rounder, had a 24-game stint for the Warriors in 2013, 2014, but has been playing over in Europe since, plays for Red Star right now. I thought this was funny. In the 2013 NBA draft, a lot of people coined him the European Derrick Rose. So that one's for you, Dev.
That's Dev's guy.
Maybe Nedovic will be making an appearance in Dev Likes a little later on. But we'll see. I kind of liked a little bit of the stuff he did today. So we'll see how he fits into the team going forward as he, gets a bigger and bigger role. It seems like that's what's on track for. But this game started kind of Nikola Jokic and Lauri Markkanen going at each other, I thought. Markkanen hit some early shots. Jokic hit some early shots. They were guarding each other, which was pretty fun to watch as well. And then this guy from Finland, Eden Maksuni, had 10 of their first 15 points. I was like, who is this guy? Is he going to dominate this game? The most he's had in EuroBasket so far is 11. Well, he finished with 10 points.
Yeah.
Jokic was drawing fouls early on. He was getting doubled in the post. He was finding his guys for open threes, for cuts to the rim. It was pretty close in the first quarter. Serbia then had a 14-0 run midway through it. They got stops. They got out in transition. Jokic and Micic really took over. They got into the bonus with 3 minutes left in the first. Ognan Yaramaz, our guy, got in there. He had a big 3 and a steal, a little bit of showtime there on the break. Then all of a sudden, Serbia was up by 20 in the second quarter. They were clicking. The vibes were great. The chemistry was on point. Serbia's role players were doing awesome. Serbia really dominated the rest of this game going forward. I'll admit I tuned out a little in the third quarter, but Serbia was up by 20 for most of the second half. Jokic was a little loose with it at times in the third quarter, I thought, but Micic and Serbia's role players, like I said, were just incredible. Serbia wins 100-70. They're 3-0 at the top of Group D. They play Israel tomorrow. Jokic's final line, 13 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, plus 17 in 26 minutes. Micic was the other star player for Serbia today. 14 points, 7 assists, 0 turnovers in 21 minutes. Serbia goes for 30 assists on 37 made baskets, 6 players in double figures. They scored 100 points. No one else had more than 14 points. This was just a quintessential team effort from Team Serbia. Vote, I'll go to you first here. What was maybe your biggest takeaway from this one?
I've got 2. The first is that I view this as a defensive first team, and I think they do as well. Obviously, they have half-court prowess, but it's more about, I think, the transition is so easy for them, these naturally sort of open-minded basketball players, that stuff almost takes care of themselves. And so these runs are when they just lock down on defense. They get stops, they get turnovers, and then they just flow. They can get into a zone in half court. Obviously, they have the pieces to, but they've sort of not filled their plate too much with that bread and butter, trying to sort of spread the love a little bit. And B, I actually don't think they've shot super well relative to what the high end of their capabilities are. They haven't shot super well in this tournament. So it's been the defense for me that's really, whenever you see this team thriving, that's been at the heart of it.
Yeah. What about you, Dev?
So first off, if you watch this game and you believe that Lauri Markkanen competed with Jokic, you're trolling. You're absolutely trolling, because that was just domination in the purest sense. Also, to back what Vogt says, this is a defensive-minded team, but this is a team that 100 points again. They shot for 100 points and went after it, and then they actually got it. And that was just showing that they could turn it on at any point. This is a team that is massive. They used that size. They got out in transition, and they did exactly what they wanted whenever it is that they wanted. I love to see the way that this team is playing, and Yaramaz is a beast.
He's got that dog in him. A lot of people are saying that.
That pass, that transition through the legs pass, he was hooping.
Dude. Yeah. I mean, I agree with both of what you guys said. The defense has been incredible. My maybe just biggest overarching takeaway after watching Serbia for 3 games, I thought Serbia could get gold at EuroBasket. I thought they could be in contention and be a threat and be in position to win gold simply because Nikola Jokic is that good and Vasa Micic would be a good enough number 2. But I'll say after watching them for 3 games, I think the reason they might win gold is because of their role players. These guys are all such high-level role players, and they fill their roles so perfectly. Like, it blows me away how seamlessly all these lineups fit together and how well these guys play off each other, and just the chemistry that these role guys have around Jokic and Micic. I mean, like, you can just go down the list. Lucic, Guduric, Kurdiza, Yaramaz, Kalinic, all these guys just play their roles so perfectly and fit together and play the right way. I just trust those guys. I really, really trust those guys more than what I've seen, more so than Greece's role players or really any of the other teams that I've watched so far at EuroBasket.
Oh, no. Yeah, we'll just pick up where he left off. I'm sure Wind will rejoin us in a second. Dev, I don't know how much you've been able to. There we go. Wind, I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead and finish.
No, I was just going to say the role players have been incredible. Like I just trust them so much, and I think it's the reason why they're the best team that I've watched so far.
I agree.
Yeah, when you talk about the role players, I think that's what the difference is, especially with having that American feel and getting used to it. When Jokic typically goes out of the game, you're just wondering, like, are they going to give up a lead? Is this going to be like the time that the other team goes on a long stretch or gets back in the game? I feel confident when he gets out of the game, knowing that they have other guys that are going to back him and play the exact same type of way. They're going to share the ball. They're going to play hard-nosed defense. They don't have to slow it down if they don't want to, because the defense is how they get it done, but they're still able to score. And just having other guys that can step up just shows the separation that they have from every other team that's in the field right now. Like they're the best team by far.
Now, obviously, we know that they're in a group they're expected to walk through, and they're walking through it. We've seen enough of our friends in Serbia warn us, this can actually work against a team, getting to cruise through only to find yourself in a quarterfinal against a team that's been tested, that's been locked in. So I felt watching today, at least in the first half, they tried a different approach. I thought they picked themselves up and played this game as if, and I'm with all due respect to Finland, as if maybe they were playing Slovenia or Lithuania, and I felt like the first unit took this game. They created the urgency for themselves, an urgency that the schedule is not just going to feed to them, if that makes sense, Dev.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it does make sense. It does make sense. And just watching them tonight, I agree. It really seemed like they came out and tried to execute at a super high level to probably get ready for the later rounds, because like they got Israel tomorrow. Israel should not be much of a test. Poland might be the second best team in this group here, who I think they're still set to play. But if Serbia executes, they could get whatever they want.
Yeah.
It's like watching Team Serbia, there's so many crossovers and parallels to the Nuggets, I think. And we always talk about with the Nuggets, if they just play the right way and execute, they can get whatever they want. And I really feel like it's the same way for Team Serbia. And they did that for the first half tonight. I mean, guys, in the first half, it was a clinic. 62 points for Team Serbia. They shot 72% from the field. They had 19 assists on 23 made baskets. Oof. It was an absolute clinic in the first half. In the second half, they got a little sloppy. It was like, a classic like Denver Nuggets third quarter. But just when they play the right way and they really try to execute against these teams, it seems like they've been able to get whatever they want.
Yeah, this was the beautiful game today. Just because they made the extra pass, they were cutting at all times. They're spacing the floor. They're finding the open man. Every single person on the court is not looking to get theirs. They're like looking to make the right basketball play, and that's what you got to see today. I actually tried to sit there and think about the fact, like, was it that they were bad, or was it that Serbia played extremely well? Because we know that that's not a horrible team, but Serbia is playing like they're so in tune right now. They're so in sync with each other that there's not much that you can do when you're turning the ball over, and also they're knocking down shots and getting to the rim. Every single shot that they wanted was open, very efficient. They don't have to force feed Jokic every single time for him to get open. And then other guys are also just willing to make the extra play that it was beautiful. Like, I'm just sitting there like, this is real basketball. This is the way you're supposed to play.
Dude, I love it.
They never gave Finland a chance. And Finland, while I just made a distinction as in maybe not in the top tier of teams here, this is not a team of scrubs. I mean, Finland, Poland, you could argue Israel, these are teams that, look, they're not going to win the whole thing. But if you come out flat against them, if you leave your A game at home, they can absolutely give you a hard time. And Serbia brought their A game today. And Finland just never got a chance to feel themselves. We're talking about Markkanen. That's the player we knew coming in. There's another version of this game where we spend a lot of time talking about that Finnish roster and players we didn't realize are good. We didn't get to see them do it because Serbia just squashed any hope, I felt like, within 20 real-time minutes.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about Jokic's night. he played a little more than I expected. We can talk about that as well. 26 minutes. He was on the floor in the fourth quarter with Serbia up 30. Finished with 13 points. Shot only 6 of 12 from the field, which in EuroBasket is like a very poor efficiency game from him. He did not hit a 3, 0 of 3 from 3. We can talk about that as well. 14 rebounds, though. He was a beast on the boards. Like 14 rebounds in 26 minutes is ridiculous. I don't care what competition you're up against. 7 assists. He also had 2 turnovers, but 3 steals as well. Oh, no, sorry. That's Kalinic. He had 1 steal. Jokic did, and 2 turnovers. He was a plus 17 in 26 minutes, which is also crazy in a EuroBasket setting. Vote, what do you think of Jokic's night? And just his game overall.
I thought he was awesome. Markkanen did get a couple buckets here and there, but I thought for the most part he fit into a team defense that played well. I thought he had no issue playmaking. He, Micic, and is it Kalinic or Kalinic? I think it's Kalinic, but they were doctors out there, as our friends in Serbia.
Yes.
They were dicing them up. So I thought obviously Jokic was just too big, too strong. Whenever he did get clean look in the post, we knew what was coming. So he looked great. I mean, there's still a tiny little gray cloud hanging over him with the 3-point shooting. It is something we'd love to see him break through. But outside of that, I mean, there are fewer and fewer constructive criticisms.
I like the fact that he's still taking the threes, even though he's not making them. In a game like this where you're blowing a team out, he's doing all of the small things. Like if he has a game like this in the NBA, they lose, or it's super duper close. They're up by 30. He's playing extra. I feel like this is tune-up games just to get them in a rhythm because they are playing these type of teams that they're, can't compete. They're going to play against Israel. I don't think he's going to compete. So he's like, okay, what are the small things I can do? We already know that these are the yoke type games. We got accustomed to seeing him score 30 points and things like that. But that's not what he wants to do. He wants to play the beautiful game. He wants to make the extra pass. He wants to rebound and get everyone involved. So while I feel like it is, something that we want to see him make a few threes, also just staying aggressive, although they're up so much, and just trying to see if he could get this young team that are down, a couple of, really good players. If he could get them in tune and their confidence up, he's going to do that. And I feel like that's what he's trying to aim for right now.
Yeah. The game is so slowed down for him right now. And look, it's expected. It's Finland. It's not like he's going up against the Warriors defense, but he's just processing everything at such a higher level than everybody else. It just looks so easy for him. He had this play today. It was pretty early in the first quarter. I put it on Twitter, but it was just a classic Jokic read where he gets the ball in the post. The double team comes. Lucic, actually, who's a really high IQ player, came down and set that perfect screen on the other block. And then Nedovic was wide open, kind of in that Aaron Gordon spot. For that wide open 3. And it was just Jokic saw the double team coming. He waited for the guy to commit. He waited for Lucic to set the screen. It was just so perfectly timed through this beautiful lofting skip pass right into Nedovic's shooting pocket. And it was just a beautiful play. And it's just stuff like that is happening within the game for Jokic so many times that it's just like beautiful basketball, and it's so easy for him now. I feel like he's going at like 50%.
Yeah. That sequence followed. I mean, Micic was like grinding, and I think he puts up a 3 and he gets fouled, and then he puts up another bucket and he misses it, and Jokic just cleans up his mess, offensive rebound, puts it right back. And then he gets that skip pass, and it felt a little Nuggetsy, like Jamal just grinding. Jokic being at the center, and then the little MPJ Aaron Gordon spot. I think we have seen so far that whenever this tournament asks him to play at an all-world level, he's had it, and it's been an easy switch.
That's a good point there. I was going to ask, what percentage do you think he played today? For him to have that monster of a game, what percent did he play? I'm
telling you, man, I think it was like he was at 50% or so.
He cruised into like another almost historic night if he makes one more basket, they called off a couple. And we're just seeing him just be able to do it, whatever it is he wants. When you look at the stats, if he doesn't take those 3 threes, it's back to another game. Like, I feel like he's just toying out around there and just trying to find different ways to make things happen, make everyone else around him happy. And that was a game that everybody got into a flow. Everybody else got into a rhythm. He didn't have to force it. He didn't have to be that guy. And that's what we're seeing with these Greece and Slovenia. Those guys have to be at their best if they want to win these type of games. Yoke doesn't right now, and that makes it very scary for the rest of the field that they're like, okay, we're going to try to send double teams his way. And Finland tried that. We're going to send double teams his way. Well, he eats those alive. Yep. Okay, we're going to try to, rush him early. He eats that alive. He scores when he wants to. So now it's like, okay, now they have a complete team. They have these guys stepping up that, necessarily we didn't expect to be the guy, and everyone else is just involved. But I don't think that he's playing at full capacity right now. He's doing whatever he wants.
I feel I'll hit a break real quick. I do feel like it's just a trait of the Serbians. They love to get Kalinic position in the low post, typically has a mismatch, and he can score, but it's all like Jokic. He just kind of waits. He almost prefers that the help comes so he can get crafty with it. Yeah. But let's talk about Ivaca TV. Look, this is still a Nuggets show. We're following Jokic. We're following Chanchar. We're going to come back to the Nuggets, of course. The season's just around the corner, and you can watch them and not just hear about them from us, but you can watch them yourselves thanks to Ivaca TV, the new GOAT in Colorado sports. Of course, that's the greatest of all TV. They've got the games. That's the big thing they're offering, the sports games that you would like to watch on your TV. It used to be so easy to do. It used to be a guarantee to watch the home team. It's distressingly hard in 2022. Ivaca TV is making it easy again. Get the game streamed straight to your home. Get some exclusive content like that Serbia project we've been working on. And just remember, there's a DNVR channel there as well. So a lot of you, we know your routine is Nuggets and then us. Well, you can bundle that all together with Ivaca TV. It all lives in the same place, and it's only $25 a month plus a $5 receiver fee. But of course, right now, Colorado fans will get $10 off per month for the first 3 months. So go to ivaca.tv/Colorado10. That's ivaca.tv/Colorado10. Get your Colorado sports pack today. Sports are important, so is health. A lot of us that watch sports sometimes neglect our own health in favor of sitting on the couch to watch sports. Make sure you get Athletic Greens in your life. You don't have to keep track of all the vitamins you need, all the stuff you're not taking that you should be taking, because Athletic Greens has it all. And with 1 scoop of this stuff and 12 ounces of ice cold water, boom, you're on your way to a great day. 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole foods, soups, source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. I use this stuff every day. It's the only reason I'm still standing. And Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D, plus 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Here's the big finish. How do you get it? You go to athleticgreens.com/nuggets. That's athleticgreens.com/nuggets to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
All right, we're back here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast. We're in the Winners Lounge. We are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Make sure to use the code DNVR when you sign up and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. We got 900 plus 1,000 people hanging out with us just on a Monday, on a Labor Day Winners Lounge. No
hanging
big
out
deal.
With the fellas.
Yeah, if you guys are watching and you haven't thrown us a like, throw us a quick like. Boost that video for us. We really, really appreciate it. And thanks for hanging out with us here as we break down this game. Let's stay on Jokic here. Dev, I haven't heard from you a lot, since we got back from Serbia. Jokic's 3-point shot. What's your take on it? Is there any concern that he hasn't really found that rhythm yet at EuroBasket, or do you think he's going to find it eventually?
I think you'll find it eventually. You see that he's still remaining aggressive and taking those shots. So like he's going to get back to being himself. But at the same time, there is things to worry about just because that inside out attack is what makes him so dangerous. Having to like step out and put those type of centers on him. Like it goes a long way with opening up the rest of the offense, opening up the rest of his game. They're going to have to respect it, and that's where he becomes dangerous and he forces a lot of mismatches. But I do think that, it's Jokic. He's going to be his best when he has to be. He's also going to knock down the shots, even in EuroBasket, if he has to. Right now, he has not had to do those things. We just want to see it come, but just keep on churning, keep on going after it if you want it to happen. So I think it's coming slowly.
Vote, what'd you think about Jokic playing 26 minutes tonight? He was out there in the fourth quarter. It looked like for a moment his night was done. Then he came back in with Serbia up 30 in the fourth, finished with 26 minutes.
I think this is two-pronged. I think some of it is you can't just play Jokic one half a night every game. Like, I think,
yeah,
you know what I mean? You got to take the car out of the garage every once in a while. You don't have to take it to the track, but you got to run the engine. So I think that was part of it. Also, they were down a few players today, shortened rotation. I get that, but to Wynn's point, it's Jokic and not someone else that plays more. So I thought some of it too was let's get Jokic some minutes with some of the other guys. He's only had those first team minutes. The second unit has come in and taken care of business. So he often has gotten to sit for a lot of the second half. In theory, they may need to deploy various different lineups as they encounter different matchups. And so maybe it was just getting those guys some reps together.
Yeah. Serbia's number 2 star today, I thought, was Vasa Micic. He played 21 minutes, 14 points. He shot it perfect from 2-point range, 4 of 4. He missed both of his threes, though. 6 of 7 from the line, 7 assists, and 0 turnovers. He was awesome. I was really impressed with Micic's finishing today. I thought he had a couple really impressive finishes around the rim. Inside, wrong hand, wrong footed, just layups where he's putting the perfect amount of spin and touch on it. I thought he was great. I feel like he's running the point so well for Team Serbia. He's always under control, I feel like. Sometimes he gets a little risky, but that's kind of natural, I feel like, for him. But he's always in control, in my opinion. He's always looking to set his teammates up. He rarely, takes bad shots. There are a couple ill-advised threes that he's taken this tournament, but I think it's pretty rare where he puts up something that's not a high-quality shot. He looks to get to the rim. He looks to get the ball to Jokic in the pick and roll. The chemistry between those two has been really impressive to me all tournament long. Dev, what do you think of Micic tonight?
I think Micic keeps the defense guessing the entire time, and that's what opens up, the floor. He's a downhill attacker that keeps guards on their feet the entire time. He gets to where he wants to inside of the paint, and also he's a willing passer, which makes it just very tough. Like when you have to make a decision, he finishes. He's a creative finisher around the rim. So when he's making the extra pass after breaking down the defense, it makes it hard to send a double team. Everybody's cutting at one time. Everybody's willing to move, and it's because they have so many different excellent passers. But it starts with your point guard. It starts with the guy that's, having the ball at all times, and he's really confident. He's not, pressing the issue or just trying to score every single time. But if you give him that, he's going to take it, which is, Jamal Murray-esque. Like, I know that him and Jokic have that type of connection because it's a guy that he's played with and plays like a lot of the times. He can score, he can pass. He's probably a score first guy that is just a good passer. He's playing really well right now. And if he continues to play at this high level, there's no team that can slow them down with them having that type of 1-2 punch.
Yeah, we've seen shorthanded Denver have various threats, but not enough guys that can pierce the defense and just attack or create that opening or take it strongly, confidently. And you get a lot of just Jokic posting up, waiting for the ball swings. Much like Murray, Micic is a guy who will just do that. He'll just put his head down and get his way to the rim. I think he plays pretty strong, not afraid to use his shoulders to get an advantage. Crafty, but I think strong. Like physically, this guy is more than well suited to get to the rack at EuroBasket. So I've been really impressed by him. That's not a surprise, in truth. I mean, this guy is the MVP of some pretty high competition. So it's been cool to watch him work. I knew nothing about him before these games.
I didn't either, other than that he was, the EuroLeague MVP. I had high expectations for him, but I just love the role that he's playing. Yep. And then the other thing I'm noticing about Micic is he can get into the paint and get by his guy whenever he wants. I feel like he's quick, he's shifty. We've talked about this a lot, but he was a skier growing up, and you can just kind of tell how quick his hips are and how quick he can change direction. It's just like it's really fun to watch him move and watch him kind of probe the defense. So I was really impressed with him again today. We got this report from apparently Jokic was just draining threes in practice yesterday, so he's going to start making them in the game soon. Love to see that. Love to see that.
That'd be nice.
That's investigative work right there.
Vote anybody else on the roster stand out for you today?
Kalinic, and I've said it so many times it almost sounds like a bit, but today he was superb. He really was. His defense was great. He had 3 steals. He did turn it over twice, so you appreciate making up for it. But I thought he was a big part of that defensive kind of stand, that big run to really, Micic, Jokic started it, but I thought Kalinic and Bench really applied the pressure from there. Lucic as well. I don't want to short him, but he is really good and he's really crafty and he seems like a guy Jokic trusts a lot. I just said it earlier. This is a guy who, with his club team will explore and expand his game successfully, but he seems really comfortable just digging out position in low post, kind of being an ignored guy surrounded by a lot of talent and taking advantage of mismatches. And he's a good passer. He's a smart He reminds me of Aaron Gordon. He's just not the D1 athlete that Aaron Gordon is, but he does a lot of the same stuff well for this team that AG does for Denver.
Yeah, he does the small things like inside, but he also knocks down that 3 ball, and that really freed up a lot, especially on the second unit. When they got on those runs, they're forcing a lot of turnovers and his hands everywhere. He's also he's always has a body. He's always in the passing lanes, just where he needs to be. But when he gets the ball, he's looking to score. And also if the double team comes, he's smart enough, high IQ that he's going to make the extra pass. This game just makes it hard. Really, if you think about the guys that they have, it's all willing passers that can score when they want to. That is the recipe for disaster every single time because no one else has the guys that can match up with them. And this is a guy that came off the bench that was willing to do that. So if you have guys that are starting and they go on a big run and they put in new guys, that's when you try to take a breath. He's like, no, I'm going to put it on you as well. So, he's good.
Yeah. Also, Kalinic banked in a 3 from the corner tonight.
Yeah, that was awesome. That's how you knew it was his night.
Witchcraft.
The broadcast couldn't let that one go. They're like, how, is that even possible?
Dude, was your guys' broadcast, was the audio really messed up where one of the announcers was super loud and the other was super quiet? Or is that just me? Was that just me on ESPN Plus? Okay.
My broadcast was wild. I don't even know what I was watching. They were just doing crazy things the entire time.
Yeah. No,
go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
Guduric as well.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the numbers. I feel like the production may not actually be there as much as he catches my eye. He moves differently. He physically, he's a good athlete. I feel like he's capable of getting himself to the rack, and he's like I don't know. I just like his movements. He's crafty. He's athletic, and he's an aggressive player. So I thought he stood out to me as well.
Yeah, I can't go too much longer without talking about Yarmaz. That guy is for real. I like a crush on the guy. He's just so young, and he just looks like he's just making big plays every single. It looks like he scores 25, and you only have 8. And I'm like, I remember every single play. He has those eye-popping plays every single time, and it's just like a breath of fresh air. Everybody else kind of looks older, more distinguished. And he's just young out there, just trying to make plays. He's the flashy type of player.
Sure.
Just super good. He needs to come on over to the NBA. That guy, he has it.
The great thing about Yarmaz is he's going to be forever in our hearts because of that Greece game. I just know it, man. Like 10 years from now, we're going to be watching some Serbia game and he's going to be the wily veteran and maybe he'll be good. Maybe he won't be good, but I know he's always going to be our guy because of that game.
Because of that one game. Hey, I have one more shout out to you guys. Jagodic Karidza, who is 35 years old. And again, I haven't fact checked this, but you told me this is his first run with the national team. He's been coming in off the bench, I think doing a good job. 3 for 3 tonight, including hitting a 3, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He's coming in and he's a source of vibes for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like his success feels like a nice cherry on top to what they're doing well.
Yeah. And a plus 21, so that just backs it. It looks like every time he's in the game, good things happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, the plus minuses were ridiculous tonight. It just, these role players fit together so well. Like you said, Dev, this is the beautiful game, I think. In my opinion, like this is the purest form of basketball. It just is. It's just basketball the right way. I love watching it. I can't get enough of Team Serbia, to be honest, even when they're playing the Netherlands and Finland.
I know.
I absolutely love it.
I'm all in. Again, though, I think there's a chance that we the way we're talking about Finland might have a lot more to do with Serbia than Finland. Like, I think that's a good team that they just dismantled today, or a decent team.
Mm-hmm. They've got Israel coming up next. This EuroBasket schedule, like we've talked about, is ridiculous. 5 games in 7 days in group play. They've got Israel tomorrow on this back-to-back. Israel, they are, I believe, 1-2 in group play. Let me find their games and results here. They beat the Netherlands. They beat Finland by 2 points, and they lost to Poland, so they're 2-1. They've got Omri Caspi. He's really their main guy, but it should be another dismantling for Serbia. We should be back in another winner's lounge tomorrow. So can't wait for that. Let's hit another break. On the other side, stick around, stick with us. It's a special edition of Dev Likes.
Whoa. That 1,000 people knew what they tuned in for it. They didn't want to say it. We appreciate them. They stayed calm in the chat, but they knew what they wanted, and it's here. Okay, you know what else is here? The first Sunday of the NFL season. It's coming up this week, depending on how you view weeks. I know that's a topic of much discussion and debate at the DNVR office, but it's a new week. It's Monday, and the NFL starts on Sunday. Check out DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and America's top-rated sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 to get $200 in free bets instantly. That sounds cool. And as an added bonus for week 1, everyone can get in on one of these no-brainer promotions they like to throw in there. This one's really simple. If you bet on an NFL team to win, and if they lead by 7 points at any point in the game, you win, even if that team loses. DraftKings loves to do this, so download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use promo code DNVR to get $200 in free bets instantly. That's code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions do apply. See show notes for details. Let's also talk about our friends at Colorado Golf Association, because we are an increasingly golf-friendly company ourselves. I just had it and I lost it, guys. Here we go. Patience. Join over 70,000 golfers with the Colorado Golf Association today and receive an official USGA handicap with worldwide access to score posting and GPS tracking. Membership means more at the CGA, and members get the opportunity to play exclusive courses around the state, such as Aspen Glen Club, the club at Ravenna, the Pinery, and more. Members also gain access to exclusive member content with offers and discounts from national and local companies. Learn more about the Colorado Golf Association today by visiting coloradogolf.org and use code DNVR5. It's DNVR5 to get $5 off your membership.
All right. We're back here on the DNVR Nuggets Podcast. We are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use the code DNVR when you sign up and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Harrison Wynn, Brendan Vogt, Superstar Dev in the house. Dev, first of all, the people are asking, the shirt you're wearing, it's fire. It's incredible.
Fire.
Can you give us the backstory on how you got that shirt? I think the people need to know.
Yeah, the backstory in this shirt is we had just came from the second meet and greet. We're just like crossing like the pathway. We were among, I'll say, about 10,000 people. It was crazy, like getting into the game and things like that. There's a stand. I'm like, I have to get it. I just have to get it. And I had some dinars on me. If you have 40 or 4,000 dinars, you're good to go for about 2 weeks or something. I had 40 dinars on me. I'm like, I have to get this shirt. And the best part is Eric and Christina ended up getting the shirt for me. So
there you go.
Everyone just gives Dev stuff. This is how he lives.
I know,
man. It was perfect. But yeah, I ended up getting a shirt. Actually, as soon as I got the shirt, Jokic's brother was like at the stand. He was waiting for someone. So like me and Eric actually took a picture, said what's up to him before the game. And then I got the shirt.
Nice.
Incredible.
Straight from Serbia. I mean, it's a lucky t-shirt. I don't think Serbia's lost while you've had it. Just saying.
No. Actually, Serbia's never lost a game that I watched. Ever.
Yeah, I mean, this group is perfect for that, I think. Okay, let's get into a special edition of Dev Likes. The people want it. We're gonna give it to them. Vote. You can chime in on this stuff as well. But I'm just gonna lob some names, coaches, people, places, things at Dev. We'll see if he likes it. First up, Coach Pesic. Does Dev like Coach Pesic?
See, Coach Pesic was giving me like Malone vibes for a while. He was not playing. I want Yoke to play every single minute of every single game. You know, there's other guys that are like, let's rest him and things like. No, I want him to shatter every single record there ever was. So he would sit him for long stints, especially against Greece. I feel like Yoke had sat for too long. Then come to find out he's playing them the perfect amount of time. Yoke gets enough rest to come in the game, make big plays, make defensive stops. And in this game, he had perfect rotations where everybody gets to play. They even had an older guy play that Vote wanted to talk about. So you know what? Dev likes. Yeah. Dev likes.
What do you think of Coach Pesic, Vote?
All in. I said it in the last show. I like. It's very, very clear that he has the respect and the attention of his players and that he commands it, including there's, 3 different MVPs at different levels on this team. And I think they all look to him when he speaks. So,
dude, I totally get that as well. I just feel like there's such buy-in from everybody on that Serbia roster. Everybody is all in. Like, he could tell them to run through a brick wall. They're going to run through a brick wall for him. And I love that he's a Serbian legend. I love that he's come back to coach this team with another Serbian legend on it, a couple Serbian legends on it. I'm loving Coach Pesic so far. Next up, Ognjen Jaramaz, Dev. Jaramaz.
God, that guy gets it. He's an NBA player, man. Like that guy. I'm telling you, it's just a breath of fresh air.
He's an NBA player.
Every single time.
He's calling it.
Before, I'm just like, man, this dude is doing all of the right plays. Like, everybody on the team can pass, but for some reason, his passes stick out the most to me. That between the leg, that's flashy, and no one's seen it coming. Like, he just goes in and gets it. I'm really a Jaramaz fan. I really do think – I'm sure it started when we were out there, but still, even now, today – I really do felt like he had like 15, 16 points. I look at the box score and he had 8 points. I'm like, he's that guy has that dog in him. That's
he totally does.
Dev loves.
Vote. What about you?
Vote likes that the Knicks have Jaramaz's rights.
Dude, I was just looking this up. Yeah.
He was the 58th overall pick of the 2017 draft. So, future Knicks legend, Ognjen Jaramaz.
What pick was he?
The 58th. So,
yeah.
Listen, Dev, I was going to make fun of you for calling him an NBA player. She got drafted. You're right. You're right again.
See.
He also played Summer League for the Knicks in 2017. So technically he has played for an NBA team.
He is an NBA player. I stand corrected yet again.
Yeah. Even at a 12-point game in Summer League.
You got to come over.
I got to see where he's at right now. He's playing currently for let me see here.
Is he in Serbia?
He's playing for Bayern Munich.
Playing
for Bayern. I think also, is it Kalinic who plays for, or Lucic who plays for Bayern as well? One of those guys does. Plays 18.8 minutes a game for Bayern. But he did start at Mega, or he did play at Mega at one point, Jokic's old team. Next up, Dev.
Real Madrid for Kalinic, I think. Yeah.
Lauri Markkanen. Does Dev like?
Dev no likes. Man, he's out there. He's not a bad player. I really do. It sucks that he's going to Utah. Like, I will say that. And he also was in a three-headed monster. I really do think by himself he is a pretty good, like, role player type of guy. In that setting, I just think that it was tough for him. He's going against a very good team that, like, he tried to perform. He tried to battle Yoke, so I have to give him credit on that. But also, like, they shouldn't be getting beat by 30 with the NBA player. They have some, pretty good guys on the team and things like that. But he just couldn't compete. He just really couldn't. And also, like, what is he working on if he can't defend anyone at all?
It's got to really suck to get traded in the middle of EuroBasket, and it's especially got to suck to get traded to Utah in the middle of EuroBasket. Like, that sucks.
I think he's a great example of one of those guys that sometimes in the NBA, the high usage slots are taken by, like, the most athletic, most dominant players you can find. And so you have guys that are good in high usage roles that but aren't good enough to command one on a winning team. And then as far as their role on an NBA team, it can be a bit of shoving like a square peg into a round hole. And he might be a perfect example of a guy who absolutely can contribute at the NBA level, but it's sort of an awkward thing. Whereas he can definitely get buckets in other leagues. I mean, even in the NBA, but at like a star level in other leagues and around the world. So it's like it just doesn't translate. It's almost unfair to him. Like, he's a better player than he gets talked about for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Dev, what about Vladimir Lucic? I think he's one of my guys for sure. He hasn't really been putting up that big of numbers lately, but is he one of your guys, Lucic?
Absolutely. Like, that guy, the dunk that he had today off, like, the wrong foot, when I didn't know he was an older guy with, like, injury issues until I made a comment today that everyone wanted to attack me for on Twitter. But that guy, like, is good. Like, he could be a rotational type of player in the NBA. Like, these are some NBA guys that they have there on Serbia. And it could just be because they're winning so much, but he just seems like a guy that's going to play hard defense. He's going to be able to shoot it every now and then. Vlatko type of player that can just be on a team. And he's willing to give his all every single time that he's out there. Dev likes.
Yeah. Vote.
Sorry, what's the question? Vote was
We're talking about Lucic.
Oh, great player. I mean, I don't think we've seen the best of him in these last few games, but I thought today we saw, like, he's at the heart of a lot of the things they do well defensively. He and Kalinic, I feel like they're the last two starters who stay on the floor with this second unit for as much of a rotation as I can make out. There isn't really one. And I think they're at the heart of the defense. So he's an impressive player. I don't think we've seen him, like, I think he has better games in him than we've seen, but it's very clear, like, what cracks he fills in on this team.
I think he's going to be a guy who plays up to competition. I think he's going to be a guy who, in the tougher games, in the knockout rounds, that's where you're going to really see his skill shine through, because he's a good defender. He's the consummate role player. He can shoot it. He's going to make the right play. So I feel like as a glue guy, he's going to really start to shine when the competition gets better. How about this? Can we put together our best starting five for Serbia? Do we think we could do that? Maybe not like who Coach Pesic thinks is the best, but our starting five of our guys. Do we think we could do that?
It's going to start with Yarmaz.
Mine's going to be boring. Mine's going to be boring.
So Yarmaz is in there. Okay.
Micic.
Jokic is in there. Micic is in there probably.
Lucic.
So that's three. Lucic, he's in there for me. I mean, is he in there for you, Vote?
Yeah, honestly, mine is the starting five that they have. I really think those are their five best players. But I understand the point of this exercise, and I know Dev is going to argue Yarmaz till the end. So
I'm telling you, man, Yarmaz is going to have a moment like he had in the Greece game. He's going to have a big moment in a big game for Serbia this tournament. I just know it's going to be like against Slovenia in the Final Four or against Greece in the championship. He will have a moment where he hits a massive shot or makes a huge play. I just feel it coming. I feel like he's just like there's a magnetic pull that pulls him to those moments. I can see it coming. So we got Micic, Jokic, Yarmaz, Lucic, and it could be Kalinic. It could be Guduric.
Kalinic is my fifth on that. That's why it is my fifth.
Yeah, he's been so good.
That's pretty solid.
He's been so good. I thought today he was arguably the one of the three best players on the floor. Not arguably, actually, he was. So
yeah,
but
I mean,
are you intrigued by Nedovic? Sorry.
Nedovic, I am intrigued by because he's got the pedigree. He's been a good player for a long time. It's funny. I don't want to out him on the show, but one of our Serbian friends, I was DMing with him about Nedovic, and he told me, I don't know if you guys are going to like Nedovic because he maybe out of all the Serbia role players is like the most offensive first guy who looks for a shot, who looks to score first, where a lot of these other guys, look to pass and make the right play first. So he was like, I don't know if you guys are going to like Nedovic. And I could kind of tell that a little in this game because this is obviously the most he played. But he played really well. 14 points for Nedovic, 6 of 10 from the field, hit 2 of his 5 threes, 3 assists in 23 minutes as well. He's definitely more of a ball handler than the guy he replaced in the starting lineup, Marinkovic, who I actually really like as just a shooter. So it's going to be interesting. I think he kind of gives Serbia a different dynamic. Like they don't really have another guy that's quite like him. Micic is more of a natural point guard, but Nedovic he can handle the ball. He can also score and play off the ball too.
Yeah, the thing is, like, Dev is about a bucket. I am definitely about a bucket, and he's about a bucket. But I love the extra pass. I like guys that can set other guys up and play make and things like that. So, like, whoever you were like riding with, it is like one of those guys that I'm like, okay, why didn't he pass that? He like seems to want to get his, and there are times that you have to get that, and like that's the object of the game is to just go get a bucket. But when you have everybody else that is like in sync and playing the right way, and then you want to be the only outlier, you stand out in the wrong ways. And I think he does that at times.
He played well though. He played well today, so we'll take it.
Yeah, he absolutely did. Dev, you got any other final thoughts? What else is Dev liking when it comes to Team Serbia here over the first week of EuroBasket?
Just the way that they just continue to just run through the field. Like I really think there's something to like being the favorites and then going out and prove why you're the favorites. Like that just stands out for me. But like the biggest thing that Dev likes is tuning into these videos and seeing how many Serbian people are on here supporting every single time. They're super excited to be here. We're excited to have them every single time. They're like running up the numbers. I'm excited for the season to see them blend with like the DNVR people. I think that's just going to be like a match made in heaven. We're going to be set this year. This is the year that the Nuggets are going to win it all, and it's going to be Serbia and the Nuggets fans all together. It's going to be beautiful. It's the beautiful game.
I have really liked watching the other games, fellas. This is great.
Can you guys see this?
Nikola
tweeted this out.
Nikola, why?
The nerve of Finland.
That's actually a great planned bit. I love how they had that prepared because they actually knew what was coming. So that's
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's a great move. That's actually kind of a respectable move from Finland.
Tip the cap.
I dig it.
I gotta say, I don't know if you feel the same way, guys. I've liked watching the other games more than I. Obviously, we have this connection not just to Jokic, but the people of Serbia now. Some of the people of Serbia, but I've really enjoyed watching other NBA players sort of play at an elevated level and elevated confidence with their respective nations. But be the guys that I just don't know about, that some of our friends in the chat have been watching for years. Kalinic is one. Simone was one. Like, I've got my list of guys, that I'm like, oh, this is really fun to sit down and watch you ball. So, look, it's just been group play. The games have been insane. I'm really excited for how this looks when the stakes start to rise.
I'll tell you what, I've also loved the passion that these guys have playing for their country. And we totally get it now, I think, after being over there and being at that Serbia-Greece game and just really getting a feel for how ingrained basketball is in that country over there. But it's not just the Serbian players, it's everybody, man. Did you see after Bosnia pulled off that upset the other day? They beat Slovenia, right? Yeah, they beat Slovenia.
Yes.
Did they? Was that Slovenia that they beat?
Yes, correct.
And just Nurkic and his teammates, they were singing some song. I don't know if it was like, the Bosnia like theme song or anthem or whatever it was. They were singing it like in the press area, and just the pride that they had singing that song and just being with each other. That's something we don't get, in the NBA unless it's the playoffs or like one or two of those marquee games during the season. But that's every single game at a competition like this, like EuroBasket. And that stuff is what really has me just glued and plugged into this, is just the passion that every single player shows playing for their country. I love it. It's just like, it's so meaningful to me. It's really cool. All right. Well, that's, I think, all we got for today. Serbia is 3-0. Sorry.
I don't know what we can say about it, but we have to acknowledge it. We're covering EuroBasket. Have you guys seen this story out of the Turkey-Georgia game?
Oh yeah. Can you give a rundown on that?
So, it's Korkmaz, right? Do I say it?
Yeah,
Korkmaz, the Turkish, and obviously 76er, boo appropriately. There was a scuffle on the court, and he was back. He was back in the hallways, and allegedly a few or a handful of players that weren't even active for Team Georgia rushed him in the hallway. Conflicting reports as to whether Georgian security, because it was essentially a home game, were involved or simply didn't step in. But Turkey is claiming that they got cornered and attacked. And you guys know how these stories go in the NBA, right? Hallway fight, security steps in. We talk about it for a week.
Yeah,
bunch of
peak, hold me back. Yeah, just
apparently
hold me back.
Not what happened here. Fists are being thrown. Guys are fighting to defend themselves. I don't know what happened. Turkey has threatened to pull out of this tournament if FIBA doesn't release the entire security footage second per second. So that's fun.
Wow. I did see that. That's crazy. But I did watch Turkey, Georgia, and like that game was bonkers. The refs missed like so much shit that game. They let like 24 seconds run off the clock. I don't blame Turkey for being furious. And, I'm also demanding that FIBA release the second by second video because I need to see that. I'm also demanding that.
I really want to see that. How about that, Dev? No, they don't just talk about it. They're about it in Georgia.
Yeah, I don't want to see any Georgia people anytime.
Does Dev like the tunnel altercations in EuroBasket?
It shows how passionate these people are. They talk about it. They are definitely going to be about it. So Dev likes the passion. But hey, keep people safe, man. Keep these players safe.
Yeah, absolutely. With that, I think that's all the time we got for today. Hey, if you guys are hanging out here, we got 1,000 people watching right now. If you haven't, hit that like button, smash that like button before you get out of here. thanks for tuning in. As always, guys, we'll be back tomorrow with hopefully another winner's lounge. Like I feel like we could get another one. Serbia, Israel tomorrow. Serbia looking to go to 4-0 in group play at EuroBasket. We will talk to you guys then.